All right. We made it. We did it. It is, we're here. Hello, welcome. My name is Deshaun. I'm a Spring Developer Advocate. And today I'm joined with Andrei and Tagir. Gentlemen, how are you?
Hello, thank you. Yeah, great.
And where are you joining from? Tagir, you are in Munich?
I'm in Munich, in Germany. It's
Andrei, where
sunny
are you?
here.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrei from Cyprus. Today not so sunny, but warm.
Fantastic. The sun hasn't come up yet. It's still bright and early. Not bright. It's still early. It's before the bright starts here in Kansas City, Missouri. So welcome. I'm glad. This is fun. IntelliJ's had some new releases, and that's exciting. And I got to meet Andrei at Spring One, which was fun. I had a presentation on JSpecify and the new things that were done in Spring Framework 7 and Spring Boot 4. Basically, we said, hey, we want to have this support for nullability. And we leveraged JSpecify before. We had some of these features. It wasn't across the whole portfolio. And yeah, with this latest set of releases, we added JSpecify and support for things like nullaway. And that
may interrupt you a bit.
Of course.
From that days, Spring Boot 4 also was released, and Spring 7 as well. And yesterday was amazing session with Spring engineers on our channel, and today we coming to this session.
There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, if anybody wants to watch that over on the IntelliJ channel, fantastic. Who did you have there? I think you had Stefan Nicole, Sebastian Deleuze.
It was not Sebastian, definitely. Sorry, I not remember every name.
No worries. I'll find it.
Frank Pashot was there, and some cool guys.
Fantastic. Yeah. So that's fun. So today we can talk a little bit more about what it looks like. Yeah. Where should we start? Andrei? Let's start on how I pulled you in at Spring One. Day one, I gave my presentation. It was Sebastian's presentation. I kind of walked through it. It was fun. And you were sitting in the front row, and you had, you had a demo. And I said,
it was really nice to meet you in person first time, because I saw many times your streams and some presentations, and it was a fantastic opportunity to be part of that session and present how we cooking JSpecify support in IntelliJ before the release. But if you allow, I would like to start the story a bit earlier, around 20 years ago, when I met null pointer exception first time, and when we started to be familiar each other, and so it was honestly really terrible experience, just because I have feedback from the review. Look, you don't catch nulls. It may be null. You may have a null pointer exception. We don't accept your changes before you changing everything. And from that time, I have to remember that I need to check everything. It was a time when IDE can't help me in this question. And it was a big journey for 20 years, and finally we have the situation when everything under control, and we can feel ourselves in safe space, safe place with Java. It's my point of view, how you feel this situation?
I'm probably less optimistic because I don't feel that we still have everything under control. So basically, what JSpecify is, it's a way to enhance your Java type system to add nullability information directly to the type, like saying this type can hold null and that type cannot hold null. Basically, similar thing is available out of the box in Kotlin programming language. But even in Kotlin, you may still occasionally have null pointer exception because there are cases like initialization loop or calling some unannotated code or whatever. So I would not say that the problem is totally solved, but we are making a good progress. At some point, hopefully, we will have first-class support for not null types from virtual machine, and at that point, it should be much better. Like virtual machine will strictly prohibit us from putting null to the variable which cannot hold null, and it would be the best. But we are still not there.
It's on the roadmap. That's Project Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's on the roadmap. We don't know when that's going to come, but until then, we're in a better spot. We're in a better place.
Sure. And I must say that the story of nullity annotations in Java is very long. Probably they appeared first around the time of Java 5, which was like I don't even remember. Probably in 2006 or somewhere around 20 years ago already. That time annotations first appeared in Java, and you were able to add your own annotations. So, and there was an initiative, GSR 305, Java specification request, to add nullability annotations. But that type, you cannot annotate any type. You could annotate like variable or method. So, for example, you could say that this method never return null, but if the method return list of strings, you can say that this list is not null, but you cannot say that anything about strings inside that list, whether they could be null or not. In Java 8, type use nullability, type use annotations appeared, and the first implementation was, I guess, Checker framework, which also a framework of many annotations, including nullity annotations. And it added a lot of information to your types, like you could have ranges on numeric types, you could have nullability, and so on and so forth. So, and finally, you could annotate a specific type components, like you have map from not now strings to not now lists of nullable integers, for example. It became possible.
Tagir, may you cover how, when it first time was supported in IntelliJ? Maybe you remember.
Actually, the support started even before I joined JetBrains, so I don't know exactly. And I joined JetBrains more than 9 years ago. But that time, we still supported only non-type use annotations, like annotations on methods, annotations on fields. And this was really problematic and created a lot of mess, because type use annotations are kind of not quite compatible with non-type use annotations. Like you may have a field whose type is array of strings, and you annotate it like at non-null string and square brackets. What does it mean? From before type use world, it means that your field doesn't contain nulls, but the array inside that field may contain nulls. In type use world, it means vice versa. It means that we don't know whether a field is nullable or not, but the array cannot contain nulls. And it's totally confusing. So basically, if you move from non-type use annotations to type use annotations, you have to modify your source code at least for arrays. There are some other non-trivial places, but arrays is the most painful. And the thing is that people still don't understand because it's extremely confusing. Like every now and then, people come to our tracker and say, my array annotation, I annotate my array as not null, or I annotate my array as nullable, and IDE produces completely wrong warnings. And I have to explain, no, sorry, IDE is correct, U is wrong. Here is the link to Java specification, which explains this part. So my actual recommendation is just to avoid arrays in Java code.
But that recommendation, the IDE telling me, like, I started using IntelliJ, I think in 2002. And I remember sitting down before that, I was using Eclipse, but I was interviewing, and Constantine, now a good friend, but he sat me down. He said, what IDE do you use? And I said, Eclipse. And he said, why? I said, well, it's free. I have access to it. He goes, that's not a good enough answer. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, let me show you a good IDE. And he showed me IntelliJ, and I've been using it ever since.
Glad to hear.
But this idea, go ahead, Andrei.
So I trying to say that actually I'm still using Eclipse time to time.
Just on you.
Why?
Just joking.
One of the reason it's compare what we have actually in IntelliJ and found the ways how can we improve user experience for IntelliJ. And I would say thank you also for Eclipse developers. At least when we have one more IDE on market, we have like hope for the future. Just because if we have no Eclipse tomorrow, only VS Code forks will be presented. But currently we have not only editors for that can support somehow working current flow for working with code with AI, like vibe coding, but also IDEs. And we're sure that developers still need IDE as a thing. But I would like to say that returning to no, don't. Okay.
That's free demo. Just saying, she uses the Eclipse as well. She just don't take it away from me.
Yeah, I would like to say that currently with JSpecify, I think we have much more better situation just because JSpecify it's not only for annotations. Someone might ask why we need one more set of for annotations, but because JSpecify provide really mature specification for this, and currently Tagir might say just look to the specification, everything works correctly.
Or not.
Or not. We can
in fact, I remember I was at the beginning of JSpecify project. It started somewhere probably in Mountain View in California. And it was definitely before COVID. I don't remember, probably it was 2017. It was mostly endorsed by some great people from Google, and other organizations also joined. And you may ask why it took like, I don't remember, 6 or 7 years to bring us like 3 or 4 annotations, a package which is just probably a few kilobytes of size. But the real contribution of JSpecify is the specification, because there are huge number of corner cases, especially like type system in Java is quite complex. It contains wildcards, it contains capturing, it contains inference, it contains like type parameters with upper bounds, with you may have wildcards with upper and lower bounds. You may have intersection types like something extends foo and bar, for example. And you have to specify how nullability will be handled in every single case like this. And it's really complicated job.
That makes sense. And JSpecify as an organization, there's lots of members. I'm reading here, or I went to the link there, jspecify.dev. And JetBrains is there, Google's there, Meta, Microsoft, Oracle, some companies that you might have heard of, and Broadcom, right? Like there's a big group, but I think there's only 4 annotations, right? That come out of that spec.
I think yes, there is nullable annotation, non-null annotation, null marked, and null unmarked. Usually you actually need only 2. You need null marked and nullable.
Okay.
The 2 remaining ones you may need only rarely. So basically, the idea is that if you're ready to use JSpecify, you should annotate your code. It could be the whole class, or it could be the whole package, or it could be even a Jigsaw module. If you are using Jigsaw modules, you can annotate it as null marked. And it means that the whole scope which you are annotating is aware of JSpecify annotation. And what's more important, by default, all types don't accept nulls. So you are like in null hostile world. You don't like nulls. But if you need nulls in some specific place, you can use @nullable at that place.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Go ahead.
I would say that some of similar annotations already was presented in some sets of annotation. For example, in Spring provides also the nullability annotations. JetBrains provides, and but something changed with JSpecify. Currently, JSpecify provided by the library that adopted JSpecify as transitive dependency, and when you just updating your dependencies, you will have JSpecify in your class path, and it's this is a difference from the previous situation. And as I mentioned in my blog post, one could simply add nullability check support, even not seeing it. You may don't know, but nullability check is already in your code when you upgrade to new Spring version.
Yep. Now the cool thing, why I invited you here, why I want to talk about it is because in our IDE we get these benefits. There's lots of IDEs to choose from. We talked about Eclipse. I saw recently James Gosling, the creator of Java, he still uses NetBeans, and NetBeans had a new release. VS Code is popular. There's lots of options, and yeah, find what works for you is the whole idea. But yeah, I'm a big fan of IntelliJ. I like what IntelliJ gives me in the IDE. We had Daniel here talking about like there's some benefits, and what you'll see using the newer versions of IntelliJ, you'll see that you get these hints. I don't claim to be a Java expert. Maybe some places I'd be a Java expert, but like a lot of what I do, my ability to go to production, a lot of it is dependent on what I let the IDE do for me, what I let the IDE remember. And I get a lot of the feedback from the IDE. It's telling me how to write better code. It's telling me that, hey, look out for this. Before we had this, I would get a squiggly line. This could be null, right? I've had that for years. Like, hey, oh yeah, I better check that out. I get my little light bulb, like, hey, here's something you might want to consider. That's been fantastic. And I just like to get rid of all the squiggly lines and make it so I got a nice green line, a green dot at the top, so I can move forward. That's nice. That's how I that's
and something changing in last release 25.3. Currently, if you have in ClassPath JSpecify, as I mentioned before, and for example, using some kind of refactoring to extract method, it will automatically use JSpecify's annotation instead of ours, JetBrains, just because we decided to support JSpecify as a first-class citizen. It was a huge effort from Spring team for the last year to changing everywhere in the code bases their own annotation to JSpecify's one. And currently we can use all this information in our applications that I'm sure using Spring. And I would say maybe after some years, exactly this moment will be called JSpecify moment in Java ecosystem, not JSpecify release. That was 1 more year ago. But currently, adoption of JSpecify is started and lead from my perspective by Spring, but also many major libraries and vendors of libraries decided to put JSpecify to their code bases.
Yeah, I was just wondering how many actually nullability annotations existed during the Java evolution. You know, they appear every now and then, and in IntelliJ we usually try to support everything that we have on the market to please every user. If they use something, we should support it. So if you can show my screen right now, I guess I shared it. I opened the nullability configuration inside my IntelliJ, which is just default configuration which you get when you simply install IntelliJ, and you can see that is it shown now?
Yep.
Cool. You can see that there are more than 10, probably around 15 of nullable annotations, and also about the same amount of non-null or not null annotations, and all of them are supported. You can see from different, like from Android, a lot of them, one from Spring Framework, from Find Bugs, which was an old static analyzer, from Lombok, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So basically, when JSpecify appeared first, there were a lot of jokes like, you know, that XKCD comic about there are 14 standards and it's awful, and we have to invent new standard, and we have 15 standards now on the market. But hopefully the things will be different now. Hopefully all other annotations will eventually die, and everybody will use JSpecify.
That's fantastic.
It's insane that we have Java X annotation non-null and currently Jakarta annotation non-null. I think it's like brothers, but renamed just the package. And I surprising that Lombok also provide.
With Lombok, I guess situation is a little bit different because they actually add runtime check. So if you annotate, for example, method result as non-null, it will be checked that your method actually never returns null. They don't have nullable annotation, I guess. They have only non-null. So it's not about static analysis, but about like runtime instrumentation, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's cool. Thank you for showing us that. And how about Andrei? Do you feel like maybe showing us some demo?
I'm not sure it's necessary.
It's
I
cool.
would say I would say my demo is not so good as from others. For example, a really cool demo from Sebastian Deleuze you can find, I mentioned in my blog post also. Recently, Siva, our developer advocate, provides their own version. And as I know, Dan or Tenvega, your co-host for some, and it quite popular as I can see, and everything is covering from every perspective. And my own small demo is not adding some
don't sell yourself short. You have a great demo.
Yeah,
don't sell yourself short.
I would like to add one more topic to our discussion, just because
absolutely
we have a situation when we marked our code with annotations. We have great support in IDEs. I hope it will be in every IDEs, like in sometime. I saw the requests to provide the same support as we have to other IDEs, and it's great. But we also need something on CI/CD side. When we push our code to okay. When we push our code to the Git repository and some checks will be made on that side, we need to show exactly the same situation that provided by the ID. For example, if we not see some relevant warnings, but it will appears on our CI/CD, it will be like a bit annoying, I would say. But fortunately, we have some tools that also can help us, that they provide some static analysis possibility based on our code and configuration of build tools. I have one example like Nullability currently in mind, but it's also Tagir may mention more, just because he also author of some tool, spot bugs, as I remember, if I remember the name correctly. But I would like just add this topic, and yeah.
I contributed a little bit to spot bugs, but it was many years ago. So,
and stopped currently. But currently we have, for example, Nullability. And if we put Nullability to our build script, we can see that we have a different situation from the perspective of IDEA and from the Nullability perspective in log. And we trying to resolve this issue also, just because if we have a different situation, what is the source of truth?
Yeah.
You may postpone some warnings from the IDE just because not now, but if it will be like error on your build in CI/CD, you can. So and from other side, if you put like nullaway.init suppression warning as Spring documentation recommending, IDEA may still say you have warning here, you're just suppressing something for nullaway, not for us, just because this part is not covered by the specification, and you may suppress warning what you would like. So in current release, you may be surprised, but if you put nullaway.init, IDEA will react to it as
yes, it's just suppression ID, like nullaway.init. We
Yes.
just supported it. I mean, we recognize it. So if you suppress, if you have not now field which is not initialized, but you know that it will be initialized probably reflectively or using some framework stuff, then you have to suppress it for nullaway using nullaway.init. But for IntelliJ inspection IDs are different. So it was a problem, like probably people don't want to put two suppression IDs. And we actually support, so we recognize this nullaway.init. And
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you. I may stuck a bit just because English is not my.
It's hard. I get it. I get it.
yes,
Alla Milau Ligu Linika, if you prefer Greek. But yeah, I'm trying to say that the situation is still not perfect, and we investigating to improve it, and we have something currently in work. For example, for beta supporting for nullaway. Not now, but in maybe in next release, it will be available possibility to react just from the IDE to some warnings that provides by the nullaway. Okay. In some situations, IDEA may not complain. For example, if you put value annotation to some field, IDEA recognized that this field will be initialized by Spring. But for nullaway currently, you have to put suppression annotation. And we provide the possibility to put it just with one click of button. We can't change behavior of IDEA of our nullability checks, and unfortunately we can't improve this way currently nullaway, but we can trying to combine these two.
We can at least help. That's actually an interesting topic. Sometimes IntelliJ is much smarter than nullaway. I mean, it has really complicated analysis inside. It recognizes a lot of stuff, like a lot of ways to implicitly initialize your fields. And there is also quite powerful flow analysis. If you can add my screen again, I can show an example. Yes. So you can see here I created a test method with nullable string. So if string nullable, you should get a warning when you dereference the string. But you see, I dereference it at line 14. I say string.trim, and you get no warning. Why? Because if string is null, then x is even. Yes, we multiplied it by 2. And if x is even, then we never visit the second if. You see, you understand?
Yes.
Yes, and you can check, for example, if I comment this, I get the warning.
Fantastic.
If I restore this, I get no warning anymore. But I'm pretty sure NullAway is not that smart. So in NullAway, you will get warning in this case. And of course, we are not going to make IDEA more stupid just for the
Right.
sake of NullAway compatibility. So sometimes you may have to suppress warning from one analyzer, and other analyzer just can do a little bit more reasoning.
Yeah, we're not trying to say that some tool are better and some tool are not so.
We're not going to say it out loud.
So good. For example, NullAway can analyze much more faster source code, and this is a point. That's why we are using it for analyze whole code base. It works in a bit different way. It triggering when you put null marked annotation on the package level, but we're trying to provide a smooth experience. Just because I would like to provide experience that I expect 20 years ago, to feel like I can ask the tool and the answer will be make me the proof that I'm correct. I'm correctly using this this library and what was intended that I have. Just because I unfortunately in that situation I come from the world where I check my input parameters and I'm not expect that I have to check in everything.
Yep. The example that Tagir just showed of like the deep inspection that IntelliJ does, like that, like it's more than just at the surface. That example was a really good example, powerful example, and you don't get that everywhere. Not every IDE does that level of help, providing that level. And I didn't have to ask for it. It gave it to me. It's a partner, and that's valuable.
And in this situation, we can't, of course, covering everything inside IDEA. We can't put like synonyms for every suppression warnings. And there is an initiative from Sebastian Deleuze in JSpecify GitHub. You can find, I mentioned also in blog post, to provide some kind of universal suppression constants. Maybe one day we will have it.
I put a link to your blog post.
Thank you.
I put a link to your blog post in the chat. I also put a link to Dan's video. I'll pull that up here. I put a link to Dan's video as well. So yeah, we have more information. There's a lot more out there. But I want to pivot for just one sec. Also, IntelliJ just came out with a new release, and in this new release, actually, there's been a couple of things that happened. First of all, I was a fan of Fleet. I was using it. I wasn't using it at the scale that it could be used at, but I liked it. And Fleet's now gone. That's okay. It was fun while it lasted. But 2025.3, is that the new one? Yeah, that's the new one.
Yes.
There's no more Community Edition and Ultimate Edition.
We called it Unified Distribution.
Unified. This is great.
Yeah. Why you are not mentioning a new look and feel UI at first? I mean.
Yeah. That's fantastic. It didn't really like change a whole lot. Everything feels like it's in the right spot. I might not have noticed the big changes, but it feels
if you
comfortable.
miss Fleet somehow, it's I think it's part of Fleet with you
Fantastic.
in IntelliJ. This island theme was introduced in Fleet, as I know.
Wonderful. So yeah,
In general, yes, Fleet did a good job. Like it was probably a playground to experiment with many ideas, and actually many good ideas are inside IntelliJ now. Some of them are clearly visible, like all UI changes. Some of them were inspired by Fleet, but there are also a lot of internal changes, like in terms how platform works, how trading works. Some of them were actually created first in Fleet project, and then we used them in IntelliJ. So it was really useful project for us.
wonderful.
I might say be in touch and following our social networks. Maybe some annonces will be. Not just finishing projects, but starting something new.
Wonderful, wonderful, and I will put that in the notes as well.
Yes, and as for unified distribution, I guess the main idea is that sometimes for users it's really annoying. Like if you have first installed community version, but then you feel that you are limited, you want more, like you want Spring support, you want advanced profiling and so on, you have to install completely different application. And but now you already have it. You just have to obtain a license, and everything works. And if your license is expired before you had problems, your IDE stopped working or started to warn you something, but now it just downgrades to community version. So you still have working IDE. You don't you don't need to interrupt your work completely if your license suddenly expires.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I haven't ran into that feature, and I hope I never have to run into that feature. But that sounds like a good experience.
If someone missed somehow a separate version of IDEA, open source version is still available. It can be downloaded from GitHub. Build it on regular basis with GitHub actions. Yes, and
fantastic.
It's still the choice.
All right, that's wonderful. The big thing that I liked from your demo, Andrei, the biggest feature was when I refactor code. IntelliJ is plugging in the null marked where it's necessary, the non-null marked where it's necessary. Like I get those features as a part of my refactor. That was nice. So I'm going to say thank you for my favorite feature out of this section. Tagir, I want to say thank you for all the work that you've put in. We didn't make that clear. You did a lot of the work on these features in IntelliJ.
You're welcome, but I must say that it's not only my work. We have a wonderful team, and other people from our team also contributed a lot.
Well,
yes,
thank you so much.
And in this reason, we have to mention also Kotlin teams. Just because from the Kotlin side, it was also adopted JSpecify, and currently, thanks for Spring, you may using Spring framework from Kotlin like a natively null supported thing.
Yeah,
you not need to mark everything like before. You not need to add some special compile flags. It just works out of the box.
That was a big effort, right? That was the idea, right? Because Spring also supports Kotlin, having a similar experience for both Java and Kotlin. That was a big
basically, if you prefer coding on Kotlin, but you are using, for example, Java library, or you depend on some module developed in your company which uses Java only, and but that library or that module uses JSpecify, so you will get much better experience in Kotlin because your Java types will automatically have nullability attached, and you don't have to worry about platform types, is it null or not, about doing causes bank or something. So it's really great.
Fantastic.
One more thing I just would like to mention. We mentioning that null away may produce some warnings. The same situation from IntelliJ side. IntelliJ may produce some warnings that null away is not. But we trying to figure out with it. One more time, mention my blog post last one. I described a bit how it was preparing, just because when I demonstrated this part on Spring One, I found that we just noticing that every type that coming from Spring that already marked with JSpecify notation in IDEA said you have to say this one is not null, and we have to put annotation. Currently, not. Honestly, I think that time that it's like expected. It was maybe to put attention to the user that we bring nullability from Spring, and you needs to be think about it. But we found better solution, I think. Currently, I will not add every details currently, but thanks a lot to you back. I started to think in different way, just trying to show to someone. And also we have this feedback from Sebastian Luz. We working together during preparation this release, some more example from him. And I would like to say a huge thanks for whole Spring team who was involved.
It's okay to have favorites. It's okay to have favorites on the Spring team. You know, I go across companies all over the world in different teams. They have a different favorite person on the Spring team. I always compare it to like when I was growing up in my favorite football team or basketball team. I had my favorite player. In different development teams around the world, they have their favorite player. And Sebastian, he's my top 5. Like, he's one of my favorites for sure. All the things that he's touched, all the performance things, all the Kotlin features. He just happens to be touching a lot of the cool stuff that I really get a kick out of. So yeah, big shout out to Sebastian and the entire Spring team. One of the things that makes the Java ecosystem so much, so powerful and why it keeps on getting better is the collaboration, the community being so welcoming and so willing to collaborate and cooperate across the world. That's powerful because I've been in other language ecosystems, and they're not all
the same situation with Nullaway. Currently, we're in touch with Manu. I'm also would like to mention it. We not cooking things alone. Finally, we can share our experience internally, discuss something, and this is a way how can we provide better user experience, and that's it.
We're moving the language forward. There's never been a better time to be a Java developer or a Spring developer. And humble opinion, if you haven't taken IntelliJ for a spin, give it a chance. Give it a week. Just say, hey, whatever your favorite is, set it aside for a week. Give it a chance. Your example of I use Eclipse sometimes to see what it's like, to compare, to see, maybe it's to validate why I'm using the system that I'm using. But that practice of don't just use the thing that you've always used. There's a real value in trying something else. Either way, trying something else, either to change your opinion or solidify your opinion. But if you're not trying the other things, if you haven't tried NetBeans or VS Code or Eclipse, and you're just saying, hey, this is the best. If you haven't tried the others, your opinion might be not valid. That example, your example, that's a big deal. And I feel the same way. I like to try some other things. I like to get out of my normal path so I can validate it, right? Maybe there is a better way, and I would love to learn it if there is. So
yeah, as I know, some members of Spring team still using Eclipse on daily basis. We will not mention.
No, we're not naming
yeah, but as I know, someone who was involved to this migration to JSpecify have to use IntelliJ and say we can't complete this work if we have no this kind of support. This is a good thing, and I hope we currently providing like the best as we can support for migrating your code bases without paying. And one more thing regarding 25.3 release, I have to mention, at least just because it also some products that are provided by the Tagir's team. We called it command completion. Maybe you know, currently you can see not only regular completion that was with us years, but also the commands in the separate section. Commands mean some actions that can be applied to the code in exact context. For example, you would like to rename something. You put dot, type rename, or change name, just because we are supporting aliases for commands. And it's big thing for me, just because why I prefer Eclipse. I'm not young, and I have some muscle memory for some shortcuts and how it works. But currently, I can interact with IDE like in natural way, and I just typing. I'm not need to found the way how can I put all my fingers correctly to the keyboard to at least not every keyboard currently have functional keys, and we have some other key set depends on platform or it different in Windows or and on Mac. And that's why we
not to say about national keyboard layouts, like you never know how many complaints we have from Norwegian users that particular shortcuts don't work with Norwegian keyboard layout.
Things that I never would have even like considered, right? Until just now, like all of these things.
You have to deal with this.
Yeah, that I get it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Even you guys are superstars, and yeah, everybody's a fan. But yeah, I've never had to consider all of You're supporting developers all over the world, much like the Spring team, and yeah, there's some responsibility there to make sure that everybody kind of gets a better experience. So I get it, and thanks for sharing that. That's an important thing. This has been wonderful, gentlemen, both of you, Andrei, Tagir. Thank you so much for just coming in and hanging out, giving us a little insight into the new stuff, and it was an absolute pleasure. Any parting words?
Thank you for inviting. That was kind of interesting talk, and I must say that our support for JSpecify is not completely done yet, because there are still a lot of stuff on the table, like some refactorings may work, not very optimal way. Like imagine if you move method from null marked class to null unmarked class, what will happen with annotations and method parameters? There are a lot of corner cases.
Yeah.
But we have some stuff on the table, but don't hesitate to submit bugs or feature requests. If you step on something, we will be glad to hear your feedback.
Or if you found something in your track, just avoid if you would like to have this functionality. We trying to collect this information as a feedback from
Feedback
the
is
user.
welcome. Yeah.
Just because we can't do everything in one moment, AI is still not supporting us in this direction. Maybe one time we wake up at the morning and everything was resolved, but not now.
All right. Wonderful. Well, gentlemen, again, thank you so much. And everybody that's watching, thanks for joining. We had a nice crowd, nice interaction. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.